Thank you.
Thank you for what?
The clarity. That feeling. It's been a very long time. I thought it had gone for good. So easy to lose faith. They come no matter what. Sometimes it even works, but this... You. All that you've been gathering. The strength of spirit. Surely you must feel it.
I'll work on that. I'll come back and let you know.
You saw something.
Why do you keep pushing?
Are you so upset?
I asked you not to do this. Stay if you want.
You scared him.
I'm sorry.
It's not easy to do.
Who is he?
A pilot. Soldier. Tell me what you saw.
I sense the weight of things. Things I can't see. Pain, fear, need. Most beings carry the things that shape them. They carry the past. But some, very few. Your pilot. They're gathering as they go. There's a purpose to it. He's a messenger. There's some place he needs to be. Have you known him long?
I don't remember not knowing him.
Maybe you're the place he needs to be.
I'm gonna watch me some Andor and podcast with Candor about this Star Wars show on Disney Plus. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. And Disney pulled the fast one, putting out 3 episodes at once. Yes, I am watching Andor and talking with Candor. It's what the Mandalorian man's for. That is my podcast show. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. It should lead right up to Rogue One, and we all know how that goes. This is a podcast on Andor called Andor with Candor, about that Star Wars show on Disney Plus. This is the second season, but it also is the last one. It should lead right up to Rogue One, and we all know how that goes.
Greetings, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of The Mandalorian Man Presents Andor. And anytime now, with Candor. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcast fans, Star Wars fans of all ages. Where I last left you, I said I was going to watch the next episode of Andor right away. And guess what? I did that. I watched it right away, and that was yesterday. I watched it yesterday, and then real life things happened. I had to go do some things. I had to help my wife with stuff. I had to take my dog out. And I said, let me get back to this. You know what? Let me get back. Maybe I'll do this a little bit. And it didn't happen. It never happened. In fact, I actually sat down and I started recording yesterday. I said, it's been a few hours since I watched the episode. And then, nope, I had to get up again and go delay again and again. And I just pushed it off. And then last night I thought, maybe, you know what? No, I'm a little tired. I'm just going to chill and pick it all up the following day, which is today, Sunday the 11th. Now, I said, I'm going to get everything out on the 10th. It doesn't matter to you because it's at least the 11th for you. It could even be further in the future by the time this episode comes out, and even further by the time you listen to it. that's how the cookie crumbles. You know, that's that's that famous Star Wars line. Remember when Chewbacca goes, they're like, Chewie, that's doesn't matter about cookie crumbling. It's very famous, and it was originated in one of the Star Wars movies by Chewbacca, obviously. So the point is that I haven't watched this episode since yesterday. So if you think that I am bad at retelling and talking about and recapping an episode that I just watched, sit back and let's see what happens when I wait an entire day to recap it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I have it pulled up on the screen in front of me. It's not paused. It's muted. And I'm running through the progress bar to remind me, oh yeah, this is what happened. And one thing that I did want to mention was, in the previous episode, the previous year, really, because it's the end of that segment, they really are mini movies, aren't they? There's like an hour and a half movie every week about Andor, bringing you 1 year closer to Star Wars. At the end, I talked about how Bix and Andor blew that thing up, and did they do it behind Luthen's back? But in a recap, I saw that Bix said, I forgot that Bix says, whatever you have planned, I want in. So maybe that's what that was. That was part of Luthen's plan. I don't know. It seems like they want to be somewhat further away from Luthen and be part of the bigger picture and not just Luthen's puppets. And yet, where this episode ends, the beginning of this next story arc, maybe that's not quite the case yet. What I do enjoy about these, the way they're doing it, is much like with a sequel to a movie. It's like, oh, look, here's where our characters are now, and it's up to you to kind of put the pieces together to figure out what they are telling you, to bring you up to speed with what's going on now. They don't force feed you everything. They don't sit down and say, here's exactly what I've been doing for the past year. They just kind of let you surmise, is that the word? Surmise? What has been going on. So we are a year closer to the Battle of Yavin. It is now BBY 2. I was going to bring your own, but that's BYO. B. Bring beer. Yes, BBY. Bring beer, yes. Birch beer, yes, because I don't drink that much. If ever, I'll give it to you this way. I had a beer a week ago. I didn't finish it. Okay, so that just kind of gives you the idea that I'm not a non-drinker, but I'm also not a drinker. I'm like almost a non-drinker. What am I talking about? This is Star Wars. BBY, I was making a pun, and then I'm going on a tangent which means nothing to you. This is why you pay so much to subscribe to this show, right? So BBY, we pick up with what starts to feel like a real rebellion. We see the Yavin base, and we start to see some X-Wing pilots, and we start to realize, hey, this is resembling the Rebel Alliance that we became accustomed to in the original trilogy, an organized, like military almost type thing, organized government, organized military of rebels fighting against the Empire. We start to see that here. It feels like we are at a base. It feels, like a real thing, a real tangible thing, instead of just these operatives working in the dark and in the corners of the world that is run by the Empire. And we see this pilot coming off this ship, and I'm wondering, who is it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's Wilmon. It's the young guy. Now, the last time we saw him, he was with Forrest Whitaker, who I'm going to call Saw Gerrera, and I did not look that up. And he's. I remember Saw's like, "You're not. Where's Luthen? You're not with him. You're with us." So I think he becomes part of that crew, and that materializes more into, or they must work with the crew we're here with now. Look, I don't know. It seems like Willman actually works with Luthen still, based on what I remember from watching this episode yesterday. I'm really good at this podcasting stuff, folks. So we see him. He shows up, and he's there to, I guess he's really there to recruit Andor. So we see Andor. He is living in the jungle with Bix. Bix seems much healthier. I think it was therapeutic for her to murder the man who tortured her, and that seemed to really help with her. So if you are ever tortured, you have a chance to get revenge on your torturer. It seems to really be helpful, because they seem to be doing okay right now, even though Andor has some sort of weapon blaster injury on his shoulder that seems to be bothering him from an unknown battle. I like that kind of stuff. It's like, this is what they've been doing. This is we got to see Andor take his shirt off. He's very, very furry chest. And him and Bix share a little kissy before Willman shows up. And they're like, where have you been? And he doesn't want to say it. He's like, but where have you been? He's like, I've been working. I've been doing stuff. Where have you been? And really what it comes down to is he needs Andor to help with him. And here's what's going to happen. Things are getting crazy over on, I want to say Gamora. Is that what it's called? Gorham. Gamorrean Guard. This is all, that's Star Wars too, but this is, oh Christ. Gorman. Just think, Norman. Why would I think Norman? Gorman. Okay. Gamora, that's Avengers. And then whatever. Gorman is the planet that they're still focusing on, and things have been really advancing there, and he wants Andor to come back with him because it's advanced so much that Dedra's there now. And they're like, this is our chance. She's responsible for the death of my father. I want revenge. We can get her. We can take her out. We can kill her. And she deserves it. Now, we know she works for the Empire. But at the same time, we've spent time with her to the point where it humanizes her to where you're like, well, we know she's on the wrong side, but is she really the villain? Do we really hate her? I don't know. It's such a weird... They've done such a nice job of creating actual three-dimensional characters. So, over on Gorman, the kind of the imperial presence has built up more and more and more. And you see reporters talking about it. You see these young recruits showing up. Just, it seems like they are really like, and what for? Why are they doing this? What is the point of this? Why is Gorman so important? And really, it's only for that friggin' mineral. That's what it's all about. And every time that old general is like, I just spoke with the Emperor. I just spent time with the Emperor. I want to be like, the Emperor in the show is like Lilith on Cheers. Not Lilith. Norm's wife. Whatever Norm's wife was. Lilith was Frasier's wife, and we saw her. That was Bibi Newworth. We saw her all the time. Frasier's wife. We never saw her. Norm's wife. We never saw her. I'm not going to edit that out. And that's how I feel with the Emperor. Oh, you just missed him. Oh, he was just around that corner. Oh, the Emperor's over there. Oh, unless they do pull out the Emperor, will they do anything that harkens to Star Wars? We got that in Rogue One. We got Tarkin, and we got Darth Vader. And arguably, one of the greatest Darth Vader scenes of all time, we got in Rogue One. Because while all this is going on, while this movie that, this show that we're watching right here, Princess Leia's out there. Luke Skywalker is still at his, uncle and aunt's moisture farm. Darth Vader's out there. All that is happening while we're watching this, while this is taking place. So there's a chance there could be, like, even a reference, the Emperor's, his second in command, Lord Vader, nothing. There's been nothing yet. But I wonder, we're 2 years away now. I wonder if the next week, the final week, will there be something? I'm okay if there isn't, because I like that this is its own thing, but I wouldn't mind if there was. But anyway, we're back on Gorman, and, the Empire is there, and we see Siren, and he is like, what is going on here? He's not quite sure. He's not quite sure what the heck's going on. He doesn't seem to understand why there's this larger presence of the Empire there. But what we know is that they're going to be taking this element, and like the old general was talking to Dedra, and it's like, look, we've been trying to come up with an alternative for this material with the scientists, but it's not working. So we're going to stick with the original plan for Gorham. We're going to take this. We're going to take this. We're going to drill, baby, drill. And he's like, it's bad luck for Gorham. Sorry, it's too bad. And you could see Dedra is accepting this, but she's not quite. I feel like she's not quite on board. And they're like, sorry, they won't have much to call home anymore. It was like they're really just going to let this planet go, and they don't care because they're the Empire. Cyril finally, they met. Dedra and Cyril finally. She approaches him. He approaches her, and he's like, what's going on? What the heck's why are there soldiers, in my office? What is all this? Like, what am I here for? She's like, oh, there's, outside agitators, they're causing trouble. She's like, yeah, that's what I was here for. Like, why? What is all this happening here? I have to beg for information. What is happening? Like, what am I even doing here? And she's like, you need to pack and get home and get ready to leave immediately. So she sees the writing on the wall, and she's like, I got to get you out of here because I love you, boy. She gives him a big smooch, and she's like, just listen to me. We, pack, get ready to get the hell out of here. We'll be back on Coruscant. We'll be happy. We'll be rewarded. He's like, for what? What do we even do? Like, what's going on? And she doesn't say anything. She gives him a smooch and just takes off. Meanwhile, we see Mon Mothma, and she is at some meeting. I think she meets with the guy from Gorham again, and he's like, he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on too. Look, I've been honest with you, I watched this yesterday, so it's tough, and I'm really, I feel like I'm doing you a disservice as the podcast listener. So, buckle up because we still got more to go. But I assure you that the next episodes that I talk about, I will have just watched them. I promise you. Watch that fall through too. But one thing, she pulls up and parks, and the driver's like, no, exactly where you're going to be going, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, the driver was asking too many questions. I forget exactly what it was, but the driver was asking too many questions, and he's like, oh, Senate security, they want to know. So they're starting to either they're wondering about her, or they're wondering about everyone, and they're trying to follow everyone's tracks to see what the hell is going on. And she's like, remind me to get a new driver. He's like, no, stick with that one. They might give you someone who's actually smart. So I thought that was kind of funny that that the driver is questioning, but they actually don't even trust that he's smart enough to figure things out. So just leave it the way it is. Meanwhile, we get like a scene with the space French people, and they're arguing and infighting. What are we doing? What are we, should we be doing this? Like, look, we're not doing enough. We're doing too much. And one guy's like, we can't sit by and do this. We are the Gore. We are the Gore. It wasn't much of a scene. I don't think okay, to be honest with you, I just rewatched it really quick. And it was just like they're realizing they need to do something, they need to do something. They need to not sit back. Maybe they've been sitting back for the past year. I don't know. Or they're not doing enough. Either way, I'm trying to figure out if that language is like completely made up. Did someone make up a language to sound French and call it Gorman? I don't know. Pretty cool if they did. Back on Yavin, we have Andor and Bix going to you think they're going to I don't know, a luau, a party of some sort. This is giving me Return of the Jedi vibes of being in the jungle, you know, in the forest moons of Andor. But they're at it seems like they're at a faith healing thing. That's what it turns out to be, where it's called force healing, where this woman who I think they said actually is just a cook in the mess hall, claims to have force powers and is able to heal people, and Andor does not believe in it, but she touches his shoulder and he feels something. He's like, he does not like this. He's not into this at all. He's not into the Force. You know, he does not into the May the Force be with you or any of that stuff. He does not celebrate Star Wars Day. But this woman, you know, tries to touch him and almost has like, not like a revelation, but she notices something. She feels something like a great power with him. And she's like, and they're like, who is he? He's just a pilot. He's just a pilot. Like I think they want to make him seem like he's just working here with the rest of you. He's not also a major spy, you know, working for Luthen in the higher uppity ups, I think. But she's like, he is also a messenger. That was where, I guess that's where we get the title of this episode, Messenger. What's the message he's going to deliver? I wonder if it's with a bullet. So we jump back to Gorman, and here's where I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So Cyril meets up with one of the women from the Gorman front, and she's like, my people are convinced, you know, you're being coordinated by outside agitators, and like, you know, if I had something to offer. She smacks him, I think maybe because of what happened with the last one. I don't know. She doesn't seem to trust him, and what I'm gathering is that he works for the Empire, but there's something in his facial reactions that tells me that he is sympathizing with these people, with these rebels, and he's questioning what's going on with the Empire. It seems like it's a perfect formula for him to flip. Now, I never thought he would, but he just seems to, it doesn't seem like he's just acting here and just playing a double agent. Something about this is telling me that he is, he's believing, like, what's going on here with them, with the Gorman people. So, Andor, you know, actually does notice that, you know, something was weird going on with her, like my shoulder. He does feel something with the shoulder. He does feel a little different after that woman touched him. And next day, he's ready to go with Wilman to go take care of this special assignment. Now, this dude comes up to him and he's like, where are you going? You know, you got to tell us where you're going. He's like, look, if this is part of what I decided when I said I'd be here was that I can come and go as I please. If I can't come and go as I please, then I don't want to be part of this. So I'll see you soon. But what's interesting is that guy looked familiar, and then I looked it up. He was in Rogue One. I said, oh, that's cool. I love when they do that kind of stuff. So they take off. They're heading to Gorman. Meanwhile, on Gorman, we see, I think I talked about, like, they're sending more and more troops. They're sending these young recruits who don't even know what the hell's going on. And you can see them like, who are these people? Like, what the hell's going on here? Meanwhile, we get a fun little scene of Andor enjoying to fly. Maybe it's been a little while. I don't know. He's enjoying making Wilman nervous, flying low, coming in. And I was like, where are they going? And then I realized, oh, yeah, they're going to Gorman. Meanwhile, back on Yavin, Bix meets up with the woman. I said yesterday that I would remember her name, and folks, I forgot it. It's like Vex, something like that, maybe. But the one who was helped with the Gorman front last time, and then her partner was killed, and she's like, this is on you. You've got to wear it like your skin. She's now working, she's kind of training, I believe she said. She's not with Luthen anymore. She's like, you know, that was what I got out of this. But, you know, we're part of something bigger here. We don't have to be under Luthen's thumb anymore. You know, that's like, there was just a nice human moment between the two of them where it's like, you know, we can do it our own way. We can do our own things. We don't have to be, under one of his little playthings anymore, his little puppets to just do whatever we want. We go back to Gorman, and Andor checks in, and he's got a different name this time. He's not the fashion designer, but like the guy. So the woman's they're like, oh, do you have your pass? He's like, I don't have passport or whatever it is. He's like, we're going to be checking all these things. He's like, that's fine, you could check all these things. And then when she walks away, the young guy working there is like, they are going to be checking these things. Okay, so, she's like, yeah, that's fine. And he goes, okay, this is the room. He goes, you know where to find it. Which means he's basically saying, I remember you. You were here last year. This is the same room. You know where to find it. This is the young guy who was talking to him last year about when Tarpon, when they killed the people in Gorman, landing on them. And his father was there. He's part of he was actually with the Gorman Front in one of the scenes when they were yelling at space French to each other. He's like, he's going to be something. He's part of this, and he basically recognized him, but didn't say anything. He's just letting him know they will be watching you. Meanwhile, I don't know if this room is to try to get a shot at Dedra, but he's in his room, and he calls in to Willman, who's, I guess, working behind the scenes because they got there together, but he's behind the scenes. And he looks out the window. He gets a full view of this area with the Empire, and he opens the window a little. I thought, oh, is he going to try to do this now? But he hears some people talking. He pulls out a little mirror. He looks up, and there's some stormtroopers. There's some stormtroopers right there. He's like, uh-oh, I'm not going to be doing this right now. So he just kind of sits back, and I think he's trying to come up with trying to muster up the fact that I'm going to assassinate someone, or that's the plan. I'm here to assassinate someone, which is, that's on a whole new level. You're not just fighting someone. You are sitting back and just taking a shot at someone, someone on the other side that could really escalate things. And I shouldn't be yawning at this early in the morning, but it is 7 in the morning as I'm talking to you. So we have what I like is we're in the new chapter of Andor here. And here we are. They are in a much more organized rebellion, but at the same time, Luthen's still having them do these little tricks, these little extracurricular activities. And Andor's like, yeah, I guess I will do one, and I will go assassinate Dedra. Meanwhile, Dedra's like, okay, I got to keep going forward. We're gonna systematically dismantle this planet for this mineral, this element, and everyone else can go screw. But Cyril, you need to get the hell out of here. I know you don't really know what's actually going on, so you need to just leave this planet. And he doesn't know that this is all for this, so he just thinks, I don't know what he thinks, but he's starting to question, what am I doing here? Like, what am I really doing here? And what, like, are these people, like, what is with the Gorman Front? Like, I think he is starting to sympathize with them. Will he side with them? I don't know, but it's like, I know that they're with the Empire, but I also don't want anything to happen to them. And that, again, is the power of good storytelling and good character development right there. Bix really just wants Andor to get his shoulder kind of healed, I guess. She doesn't seem to be on any mission. She doesn't want him going around for Luthen anymore, I think. I think I got that out of it. But he's going. And I think I covered everything. I'm sure I did it on a very, very bird's eye view, which got lots of things wrong and missed lots of things. But hey, that's what the Mandalorian man's all about, eh? We're right over here. But I promise you, the next time that I talk to you will be immediately after watching an episode. I only got 2 more, and I'm finally caught up with all of you. And then we can enjoy Tuesday night together. But until then, you can find me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality. Mike on Fans Not Experts. On Facebook, it's Fans Not Experts. On YouTube, it's Fans Not Experts. That's because you all know that the website is fansnotexperts.com. That's it. I'm done. I will talk to you soon. I will definitely talk to you before Tuesday. That is a guarantee. Hopefully I'll get at least one or both episodes done today. But if not, see you Tuesday. Or no. See you before Tuesday, and then we'll meet up on Tuesday. There, okay? That's it. Now I'm really done. I need to have some breakfast. I will see you soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing, and may the Force be with you.
Let's go!
Fans Not Experts.